Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is a weekly podcast, and we do upload the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so be sure to check us out there. My name is Matt, and as always, I'm being joined by my co-host, my sister Vetta.
Hello.
Hello. And on this episode, we're sticking with the theme this month, which is siblings. And we are going to be talking about the movie Our Idiot Brother. So
I have
that
a few of those. I'm just saying.
So I did watch the trailer for this before we did the movie, and I thought it looked good. You seen this movie before we decided to review it?
I had, but it had been a really long time, so I didn't remember it. So I watched the trailer, which did jog my memory. And I all I said during the review or the trailer was this was funny. I remember I laughed. Like, that's how I remember it. It was funny and I laughed.
Right on. All right. Well, before we get to the review and everything, we start talking about this movie, why don't we just ask our most important question? And that is, what are you drinking?
Ooh, I am drinking a river.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
What's a river? What's in it?
A river is vodka, simple syrup, lemon juice, and some tangerine juice. So it's a
Right
little,
on.
and it's supposed to have like a lot of ice, but I don't like ice. You should know that by now, guys.
Yeah, ice
So
ruins everything.
yeah, it really does. You can't put as much alcohol in the cup if there's ice. So
Right
it's
on.
delicious. Can I just say that? I was unsure on how I was going to feel about it. It's
Nope, you can't say
delicious.
that.
Yes, I can.
Anyway,
I just did.
great.
What are you
Great.
drinking?
Oh, I am drinking wine, of course, but I'm drinking wine because they drink wine at the dinners and stuff. So I was like, ooh, look at that. Anytime there's wine in a movie, I'm
I
gonna
was
drink
just gonna
wine.
I was
So
just gonna say, any chance you get to say, ooh, there's wine in a
yeah.
movie, even if it's in the background of a bar scene and somebody orders it in the bar, you're gonna be like, ooh, there's wine in
Right.
this movie. I'm going with wine. Wine.
100%,
You're such a
100%.
wine whore.
So I am. All right. So let's get into this movie. I just want to say I did enjoy this movie. Did you enjoy this movie?
Very much.
Okay, right on.
Some
Okay.
things didn't make sense, though. I'm gonna throw that out there now.
Right on. I wanted to say before we started that Ned, the character of Ned played by Paul Rudd, I really like Ned. He just is like a good dude and just like a genuinely good person in my opinion.
I
Which
love Ned. I wish I could be that type of person. Like,
I
he
know, right?
literally just believes the good in everyone, and I'm the opposite. I believe everyone is out to murder me.
Ain't that the truth, sister? I'm
On the
totally like
road, they just want to kill me with their car. When I'm in the grocery store, it's a cart. Like, the only time they want to kill me with their physical hands is like when I'm in an arena at a sporting event, because they don't have anything
right on.
else to kill me with but their hands. And people are batshit crazy over sports. So.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Okay. So this movie starts out with Ned at a farmer's market, which I wrote down. Oh my God, is there anything more fun than a farmer's market?
That's what I wrote. I was like, I love a good
I know.
farmer's market. I spend way more than I would on grocery store produce, but I think I'm like doing good when
Right.
I
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, it's so natural.
Oh,
I
those tomatoes are $9.99 a bushel. Oh my God,
yeah.
I'll take 12 bushels. They're so cheap, guys.
Right. Ain't that the truth? Okay. So I wrote this down. So he is a biodynamic agriculturalist. And I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know. And I don't care. Because I just want to
He
be like,
explains
hey,
it to Lady
oh,
Air what was her name?
Arabella.
Arabella. It
Yeah.
is when you plant, and I didn't Google this to see if it's accurate. I'm believing Ned. It is
Mhm.
when you plant your seeds due to the moon's lunar cycle.
Oh, I think I remember that because I was just going to be like, hey, Veta, how does biodynamic agriculture happen?
Now I feel like shit for messing that up. That would have been amazing, because
It's
then I could have answered with, hey, Matt, I think it
it's
deals with
okay.
the moon.
It's okay. The moon. Okay. So I just want to say this cop at the beginning. So this cop comes up. He's a big douche. I was so annoyed with him. So he comes up and he's all like, hey man, can I get some weed and everything? He's like, no, I don't know where to get that. And he's like, he's like, I'm having a hard time on the job. And he's like, oh man, he's like, all right, here, I'll help you out and everything. And then he's like, how much do I owe you? He's like, nothing. And he's like, oh no, just how much do I owe you and everything. And he's like, oh, $20. And he gives the money. He's all like, thanks, I'll put it back into the food or whatever. And then the guy's, what?
The produce. He'll
The
put it back
produce,
into
thank
the
you.
produce.
I've been drinking.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've been drinking, so I'm going to trample over everything you say like a drunk person.
It's fine.
Okay, first of all, can I just say, isn't this technically entrapment?
That's what I thought, but I don't know the law well enough to be all like, that's entrapment. But
I totally wrote that down. Like, I was like, I think this is entrapment because he tried to give it to him for free, but he kept insisting on him giving him money.
Yeah. And then, but also at the same time, Ned should have known. Like, that guy was very persistent about like.
But I also feel like Ned, if he would have got a good enough lawyer, could have got him off because Ned gave him rhubarb at the same time. And I feel like a good attorney would have been like, oh, Ned thought he was talking about the rhubarb. His rhubarb is superb because of Willie Nelson's poop. It's $20 a stock.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I think Ned either didn't have a lawyer, which I'm leaning more towards that, or
probably that's probably
either way, not good, Ned.
Yeah, and then he goes to jail. And I just want to say right now, how long did he go to jail for? Wasn't it like 9 months or something?
8 months, but he got let out early for being a good inmate. So he was supposed to be there for more. And I know that might be accurate because it was a big bag of pot. They don't ever say exactly how big it was, but before the post legal, because it's only, I put up quotations only because it's legal in some states. Like I think it's legal in your state, but it's not legal in my state. So I know like your state did a whole thing where they like wiped clean a bunch of people's arrests and stuff because of all of that legal stuff. So
all right, Judge Judy, we're gonna move on from this. I'm getting bored.
I'm exhausted already.
But I was just like, as soon as they like, I was like, they send you to prison over weed? That's insane to me. Well, prison, that's crazy. Okay.
And for like so long, he was physically in prison for 8 months, and he was excited he got released early.
Yeah, and so he goes back to Janet. I wrote down Janet.
Who can I just say is a douche?
She is a douche. I'll show.
Worst hippie ever.
Yeah, he has a lot of douchey people in his life. Okay, so she doesn't want him back on the farm, and she's got a new boyfriend, which I was like, she moved on real freaking quick. And so then
8 months really fast?
I mean, if your boyfriend went to prison, I mean, wouldn't you try to wait? I mean, you know.
I mean, but wouldn't you go, he's in prison? I don't really want to date a, criminal.
Oh, is he really a criminal over marijuana? Come on. That's
at the
insane.
Time he was. Nowadays, we're like, oh my God. Can you imagine someday we're going to have our kids, people used to get prostituted for smoking the pot?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so
I was just gonna say, can we talk about, even though Janet is trying to come off as this super amazing hippie, she's a crazy bitch.
Yeah, and she is
so angry.
Yeah.
I don't think hippies are that angry.
Right. Yeah.
Aren't they all like peace, love, and pixie dust? And she's like so much anger.
Yeah, she was an unhappy person, but I mean, I don't know.
And then can we talk about the dog named Willie Nelson? I love dogs that have real people names.
I do not like dogs that have real people names.
You don't? You don't like when people are like, Fiona, was really a side-eyeing me today. And you're like, who the fuck's Fiona? And they're like, my German Shepherd. Yeah, no, if you can name your child a name, you shouldn't name your dog. Dogs should be like Spot or Fluffy. Yeah. So you would totally hate it if I named my dog Carl, and I was like, Carl really fucked me over today. He pissed on my petunias. Yeah. I'd be like, well, you need to call the cops on Carl. He's a weirdo. What did you think about Billy giving him a ride, first of all? So Billy is Janet's new boyfriend. Right, yeah. He gave Ned a ride to nowhere because he's like, where do you want me to take you, Ned? Ned's like, here's fine. But then he drives away, does a Yui, and comes back and offers Ned the goat barn for $500, which Ned is so happy about.
He is. But I wouldn't have stayed in the goat barn. Gross.
I would not have either. I was just gonna say, that's not a good deal.
Right
That's
on.
really not.
Yeah.
I don't know much about goat barns, but I wouldn't want to live in one.
Right on. Yeah, that was played by TJ Miller. He's been canceled.
Oh, why?
Oh, just
I don't know these
stuff. That's way too much for this podcast right now. We're not talking about other people's stuff.
No, because we've been drinking. So
yeah. Okay, so
sorry, TJ Miller. Bye now.
Bye now. Okay, so he's at the family dinner with his sisters and his mom. Oh, well, wait, we were introduced to Hold on. Do we get introduced to his sisters first before we have the dinner? I'm trying to go through my notes.
Nobody introduces you to his sisters at any time.
Well, I meant, do we go through the movie? How much have you had to drink?
I'm on like the 4th drink.
Okay.
So you don't get introduced to their names until dinner, but nobody actually introduces like to them.
No, I meant
that they're Nat, Liz, and Miranda.
Gotcha. Okay, so we go through the sisters and we see that Elizabeth Banks, she can't get her pilot light on, and then her neighbor, who his name is something, I wrote it, Jeremy. She calls him while he's trying to get laid, and
not while he's trying. He's practically being dry humped.
Right on. And then he ends up leaving. I wouldn't have helped Elizabeth Banks. I'd have been like, yeah, I'll be there in 20 minutes. I wouldn't have even tried. But he wants
to hit her more than the girl that's dry humping him.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. When you have, ice cream in front of you, you don't sit around waiting for somebody to finish the banana splits. So you just eat.
But if the banana splits is your lifelong dream and you want to keep it forever,
I say get your body count up first. But
can I just say Elizabeth Banks in this movie looks like Parker Posey?
Oh yeah. I love Parker Posey.
I love Parker Posey. I'm not joking. The only reason I bring that is it took me a minute for my brain to process that was Elizabeth Banks and not Parker. But like I knew it wasn't Parker Posey, but I wanted it to be. And then my brain figured out that it was Elizabeth Banks. And then I was like, oh, I love her too.
Right on. Yeah, no, I love Parker Posey. Okay, so Zoe Saldana, or Zoe, whatever, her character is a really bad comedian. I did not enjoy her comedy.
Apparently nobody else did either. They don't show up for it.
Yeah, and then the one sister who I didn't write down her name, who has the British husband, did she have an accent at this first scene of meeting her? I felt like she had an accent.
She doesn't. She's just talking funny. So Liz is married to Dylan, and Dylan's a douche.
Dan, very unattractive. I would not have.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, is he married as an actor in real life? Because who would do that? He's not attractive.
Right on. So, yeah. Okay.
Can we talk about how Liz is all like at the end of the family dinner and Ned's like, oh, don't worry, I'll cut you a piece of that river and you can take it home. And Liz is like, no, he had a cupcake yesterday. We're off sugar today. Yeah. I thought I was a crazy parent, but that's batshit crazy.
Yeah, I love, because I did write down, I love how I think it was Elizabeth Banks' character that said, lucky kid, he gets a cupcake once a week. Yeah. And I was like, that's funny. And
I thought I was crazy because I'm not joking. My oldest was like 5 years old before she realized yogurt wasn't ice cream.
Oh, right on.
And she was like 6 years old in first grade before she knew what a chocolate chip cookie was, because I had her convinced that a rice cake with chocolate drizzled over it was a cookie.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
So okay. This parent makes me look sane. Liz makes me look normal. And I look back at my former self and go, shit, bitch, you were nuts. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, so he's staying with his mother at the very beginning of the movie, and I can't remember, and I didn't write into my notes, but did his mom have a glass of wine while tucking him in, or was it just at the
No, she's
dinner?
drinking it while she's tucking
Yeah, and I
him
was like, oh, woman after my own heart. Okay,
in.
so
You're like saying cat in the hat, take a sip.
yeah. And then he ends up staying with the British sister. She's not
Liz.
British, but she's married to the British guy, to the British sister. And I wrote down is there somebody named Thaddeus in this movie? Because I think I wrote down something that I can't
No, no,
read.
no. So
Mhm.
the the sister is Liz, the husband's Dylan, the son is River, the daughter is Echo, and the ballerina that he is doing the quote unquote documentary slash fucking is Tatiana.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That might be Thaddeus in your right.
Maybe. Uh yeah, their life just seems really unhappy.
Can I just say River is going to be bullied as so much in middle school?
Oh, I wrote down that I think it was later down oh Jesus Christ. I'm just reading through my notes. I'll edit all this out.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote down somewhere. I just can't find it. That kid really wants to do karate and they just won't let him. His life really does suck. That kid. Oh, I wrote down that kid. That kid's life sucks. Not Thaddeus. I just can't read it.
It's
Okay, so I
not
wrote down
even
the
that
kid's life
his life
sucks.
sucks. I don't think it said his life sucks. His parents suck.
Yeah, which in fact, ipso facto is his life. That's
I
his
don't know.
life.
His life gets better when Ned gets involved.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And plus, I don't know what kind of dancing he was doing in that class, but it was bullshit
Oh, that
when he
was
was like,
interpretive
yeah, well,
dance.
whatever that was stupid. That lady with the beret or whatever the fuck that turban thingy she was wearing. It was
And can I
nonsense.
say his dad is a fucking dick?
His dad
Dylan,
is
the
a dick.
documentary I Have Money asshole, is a dick.
Yeah, and he's filming that documentary, which I just want to be like, it sounds terrible.
Well,
And
he's only filming the documentary because he wants to fuck her all the time.
right on. And then yeah, so I love how he gets a job, and then while they're at the little studio thing filming her and her class, he's like, well, he's like totally gets jealous over the ballerina, which the ballerina is not that hot. All the side ballerinas were way hotter than what's her face.
Well, it's because I don't think they were real ballerinas. I mean, if you Google ballerinas, like real life ballerinas, they're not that attractive. They look like one step away from taking a bite out of your neck. They look like zombies.
Yeah. Okay, so I loved this little like not montage, but this little thing of him and I love how he was on the subway and he was counting his money, and I'm all like,
Or
that
did
is
you love
so.
that? Because I was like, okay, now I get why this is our idiot brother. You dumb shit.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense because he's such a nice person that he's just like he just thinks that everybody's going to be cool with it and everything. And then I didn't mention it, and I don't remember where it shows up, but we meet Omar, his
Parole
parole
officer.
officer, which even though Omar was just like a like a mere a blip in the thing, it was played by Sterling K. Brown, and I really like him a lot.
I love him.
Yeah, and then but I did like how so then later on he has to do a pee sample.
I love
And I wrote down that I would love it if I could be able to pee in front of people, but that's just not like I get way too shy. Like he'd be like, I'm gonna get the cranberry juice, and I'd be like, you're gonna have to get something else because I agree. I could have to pee my face off, and I'm not gonna be able to do it because
Okay,
you're like talking to my dick right now. So
here's story time. I'm gonna
oh
side note,
yay.
small story. I don't know how much of this you know because I know our parents tried to keep you guys from knowing about it, but I had
Just
to
tell
go
me.
through this situation of quote unquote random drug testing
Super
because
fun.
I got busted at the age of 18 as a quote unquote minor in possession.
Look at you.
And I was put on probation for 4 months, but during that 4 months, I was put on random drug testing where my parole officer, who seriously, I loved her. She was amazing. No shade towards her and her work with Kent County or Allegan County, whatever it was in Kentwood, Michigan. I don't remember. Her name was Lynn Smith. Could you get more of a basic name?
No.
And she was the nicest Black woman I've ever met in my life. She thought that I was going to be this most amazing, successful person ever. Pep talks were amazing. She should have been a life coach, not a parole officer. But you really do have to pee in front of them. Like, you don't get to shut the door. You have to pee with the door open, and they stand right there in the door. So it is legit on the you get shy. Like, I was like, you're staring. I was 18 years old, and I'm like, you're staring at my vagina. And she goes, of course I am. I have to see if the pee actually comes out of it.
Right
now,
on.
as an adult, I'm like, that's funny.
Hilarious. Your life coach sounds terrible.
Right. As an 18-year-old, I'm like, this sounds like predator behavior. Lynn was not. I just want to say that. But still.
Gotcha.
His joke, I wish I would have known that joke at the time, because I would have done that. If I was the person I am now back then, that would have been amazing.
Right on.
I would have been all for that. Do you think they would be receptive of that the way Omar was? I don't think they would. I think they'd be pissed.
I mean, I don't know. Probably. Okay, so I wrote this down. Why is everybody in this movie talking about how he doesn't have his shit together? But I feel like he's the only one that has his shit together. I mean, yeah, he screws up, but I mean, who doesn't screw up? The rest of them are all like, I don't know. Their lives just seem very unhappy.
Screwing up, or is everybody else screwing up? Because I feel like it's all about perceptive.
Right on. I did write down, okay. So then I love how Zooey and the brother get talked into going to these classes, this little like cult. And
is that where you're talking
that's exactly where I want to go, is to the wind room, which at first I thought they said wind room, and I was like, what, a wind room? There's no wind involved.
That would have been amazing, because that would have been like those skydiving places where you just had the giant fan under you and you're just like, ooh.
Yeah, and it's just a sweat lodge basically. So I was like, and then she's all like, tell us what you're feeling. He's like, I'm feel really hot. And I'm all like, what? I was like, and then I'm like, I don't understand. I would say anything in this wind room just to get a glass of water. I'd be like, I just want to leave your little weird cult going on in this very bright tent. So
there's quote unquote win sucked ass. Nat's win was just a weird fucking dream she had.
Right on. And so I go, so then okay. So then he, eventually he faints and goes to the hospital. And he's like, I love how he was like, congratulations on your win. Okay, so Zoe's lesbian lover lady.
Cindy, I love Cindy.
Yeah, okay. Well, first off, Cindy is a terrible dresser.
Why are lesbians Jeffrey Dahmer glasses?
Yeah, and why do lesbians have such horrible taste? I'm sorry. I mean, like, Ellen dressed badly. They just don't dress nicely. I'm like, even when you're in suits, it doesn't look good. I'm like, you guys, they do their hair weird. And I'm like, maybe really Daddy needs to come and help you.
When you talk about gay men, everybody's like, oh, their taste is great. They can find the sunshine anywhere. And, there was that show Queer Eye for the Straight Guy or whatever it was called. Is that right? I don't know if that was right.
Yeah.
That show was all about the taste they have and how they can tell you how to be fabulous. But why, when it comes to lesbian women, it's all about no. We're
right. Yeah.
We have no taste. I watched a movie the other night, The Sisters, with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, where they go to get chairs from the lesbians. And they're like, oh, that's right. The gays have the good taste. The lesbians have the good chairs.
Right on. So I also, real quick, I wrote down, don't drink out of other people's cups. Does somebody drink out of somebody else's cup in this movie? And I forgot what it was.
Let me think. So when he's in
Moving
the,
on. It's fine.
yeah,
We don't have to
I don't
think right now.
remember.
It's fine. Okay, so the director husband.
Oh, yes. Lady Arabella in
Oh,
the
well,
car.
oh yeah,
Puts
let's
her cup with the straw over and Ned takes a drink. And even Miranda, the sister, Elizabeth Banks, is all just like the eye roll face you gave me, she gives them.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought I didn't see that. I did.
I didn't give you an eye roll.
You gave me a face.
I didn't get a face. Did I give
You
you a
all like,
face or an eye roll? Okay. All right. So the director husband guy, he is sleeping with that ballerina lady.
Tatiana.
Yeah. And what's his face walks in on her. And on them. And I loved his whole excuse of like, sometimes we interview in the nude, and I'm all like, no one's believing that. That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But I did enjoy how he put on the hand sanitizer after he got the keys. I was very much
I was
happy
like,
with that.
smart man. He was touching, Dylan was touching his balls and then handed him the key. And Ned was smart enough to know these keys have ball sweat on them. Hand sanitize.
Yes. And then after that, they ended up kicking him out of the house. Not right away, because he's like, I want him to go away. And then they did it after River was injured, because they were playing hide and seek.
Because he broke
And
River's fingers.
yeah, which I'm just all like, that was an accident. And
Well, I don't think they did it because he broke the fingers. I think it's because they think he ruined the interview to the prestigious school.
oh, is that what that was? I thought that was a psychiatrist.
Therapy.
Yeah. I didn't
No.
realize that. I thought it was therapy. Okay. Did they mention that in the movie and I just don't remember that part?
Well, they do mention the interview earlier in the movie, so I just made the connection because I've seen enough movies with those stupid interviews, and that's the shit they ask. So that was my assumption. I could be wrong, and you could be right. They could have taken him to therapy after his finger broken, but I just assumed it was
No,
the
that makes
school.
sense. That makes sense. Okay, so real quick. Okay, so can we just tap onto this whole Arabella thing? Because I felt that part was very, like, I don't know, weird and everything. Okay, so the one sister, Elizabeth Banks, she's a reporter for Vanity Fair or some crap like that, but she writes about makeup. And she wants this really great story with this heiress of wherever.
At some point it states like she's one of the richest women in the world, but she's super secretive. I only know that because I put the subtitles on. The subtitles said that.
So, okay. So then he ends up talking to her at this little thing, and she does he does the drinking out of her cup thing, but then and she does this charity work or whatnot. So then she has a get together, with the hoity toity people. And then he's talking to her and she's telling him all her deep, dark secrets, right?
Yes.
And then Elizabeth Banks, she wants to know the deep, dark secrets and he doesn't want to help her out. And I'm all like, why don't you help your sister out, dude? I mean, you don't know this Arabella chick. You met her for 5 minutes. Just help her sister out with this story.
So this is my whole thing. And again, I'm not a reporter. I don't know the legal realm of this. But couldn't they print the report or the article and just say they're not going to cite their source? Because can't reporters protect their source?
I mean, yeah, they can, but who wants to go through all the legal? I don't know, dude. I don't know
either how that works. So I'm like, why didn't Vanity? That's the problem. They said it was Vanity Fair, but why didn't the magazine just say, this is what we have from an anonymous source? Because you see it all the time, especially on like the Insta and the Snappy Chat and the Twitter. It's all like a source close to the celebrity said.
Right on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they made way too big out of this whole Arabella story.
Right on. Yeah. So he ends up getting the rest of the money to go back to the goat shed. And Janet, who moved on way too quickly, played by Kathryn Hahn, love her.
Love her so much.
And she didn't even love Willie Nelson. I felt like she just kept Willie Nelson to mess with him.
It was a bitter. I think she was pissed he went to jail and left her alone.
Yeah, which I'm all like, but whatever, it's fine. She was not very nice. So he go and she's like, "You're not living here," because TJ Miller forgot to tell her about it, which I'm all like, you guys are a lot of irresponsible people. You're just sitting here growing tomatoes and like not talking. Like it's really weird. It's a weird thing. And I love how she was all like, she's like, "See, now you made me raise my voice." And I like how his answer was like, "Wow." Just wow. And I'm all like, "What? What's going on here?"
But I feel like she's one of those people, like she's really not a hippie, but she likes that life because she can say a lot of their key words to make the other person feel like they're in the wrong. She's because in the beginning, she's like, you left me. Do you really think Dave's going to let you come back and work the farm after what you did?
Right. That's funny.
And I can't believe you're bringing Willie Nelson into all of this.
Right.
I feel like she's one of those people that is always like, even though she's in the wrong, she's redirecting it in some way onto you. Like those people that like, oh, I'm cheating on you, but you didn't do the laundry on Thursday. So me slipping my dick in this other girl is justifiable because you didn't do the laundry.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, you went to an extreme.
I did.
You went from 0 to 60 real fucking quick. Okay. It's fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. Okay, so then he gets the lawyer lesbian lover lady. I don't remember her name, but he gets her.
Cindy.
Cindy. He talks to her, and she decides that they're gonna go steal the dog. And who's the man?
Why didn't
who's
we
the
do
man?
this
You're
from
the
the
man.
get-go?
What?
Why didn't he do this from the beginning? I feel like this is like plan B, not plan Cindy.
Right. So I forgot to mention this, but we'll mention it now. Okay. So they go to steal the dog, and while they're doing that, he mentions that the sister Zoe.
Oh yeah, we skipped over the nude modeling.
Yeah, she was sleeping with the nude artist guy and is preggers.
She's pregos.
Yes.
And she makes Ned think this is not Ned's fault. She blames Ned, but I blame her. She totally led Ned on to think that she told Cindy.
Yeah,
so, I don't blame Ned.
Yeah, I don't blame Ned for any of this stuff. I mean, like Ned's, I like Elizabeth Banks says later, he's like completely retarded, and I love how he's like, it's true.
But that's not the first time in the movie. Omar says that because when he first meets
that's
parole
right.
officer, Omar,
yes,
he's talking really slow to him, and he's like, "Why are you talking so slow?" And he's like, "I just assumed you were retarded because you sold pot," or he says grass, which tells you the time this movie was made.
Right.
You sold grass to a uniformed police officer. And Ned goes, "I get that a lot." That is not the first nor the last time you will hear those two statements put together. Poor Ned.
Poor Ned. Okay, so then she calls, so he, tells her about her being pregnant.
Because he thinks she knows, and he's being all like, "Yay, you for being amazing."
Yeah. And so she calls Zoe right then and there. And I'm all like, is this really the time for this? You're committing a crime. Do you and now the jig is up. And so they end up leaving or whatnot. And then okay, so then the next thing I have written down is he has lunch with Jeremy. And
normally I'm not an Adam Scott fan because he normally plays douchey characters. I kind of like him in this one.
Oh, right on. I have no qualms with him. I didn't even know his name was Adam Scott. Anyways, so he's talking to Jeremy, which I wrote down neighbor guy, and then I was like, and then they say Jeremy, so I etched and sketched that out and wrote Jeremy because I was like, oh, look, a name. Anyways, so and he's talking about how he needs to, jump back on the wagon of with a mate or whatnot, and they're just going through all the different women in the little coffee shop or whatnot, and he starts talking about his sister Elizabeth Banks and how she's too bossy or whatnot, and then I don't know if it was right after that, but then after that, Elizabeth Banks, he's helping her out, bring a bookshelf or something, or like a desk or something up the stairs. And they're talking, and long story short, everything that he said to Jeremy at that breakfast, he like repeats, and then ipso facto, he repeats stuff that she said, she and what he said, all this stuff and everything, because Ned's just, and that's where the
feel at some point in this movie like Jeremy does not have a deceitful bone in his body. Like he can't lie or be deceitful at all, because if I told you something as my brother and it was about somebody, like, so before Ryan and I were married, if I told you something about Ryan, would you have gone back to Ryan and told him that?
No.
Exactly, because you're my brother. I
Yeah.
feel like Ned is one of those people that doesn't understand like social situations, like, and what to and not say. Like he doesn't know how to not lie or not omit things from a conversation.
Right on.
And he kind of explains it in a weird, like he puts his trust out there and just expects everyone to do the same. And I'm like, oh, that's just stupid of you.
It is very naive.
Yeah.
So I don't remember how it comes about, but he says something along the lines of like, do you do interviews in the nude? And they're like, no. And I was like, I knew it, or whatnot. And the two sisters go to the British chick's house to talk to her about her cheating husband.
No. They're at their mom's.
Oh, are they at the mom's?
They're at the mom's.
Oh, okay. And she's crying.
Sunday dinner.
Yeah. So she's crying and stuff. And then she's like, I don't know what happened. And they're all like, well, you used to be hot. You said
they were explaining it. Can I just say I related to that moment?
Them explaining, or you were the mom lady, the British
mom as Liz, the mom.
Gotcha.
I totally relate to her because I feel like I was her. Like before I had kids, I was all like every day I did my hair, I did my makeup, I went to the gym, I went to my little soccer league, I did everything. And then I had kids and I was tired.
I feel you.
So exhausted. And then so before now, because obviously now I don't look like as someone who's all like, oh, let's exercise and do all that. I was, and then I got sick and had issues, but that's a whole different story. That's not movie related, but I relate to Liz in this situation of the being so exhausted. You don't have time to look fucking hot. And you know what? A good man, and I'm not even saying this like jokingly, I'm saying this seriously. Any man who truly loves his wife, when she is pregnant and after she has his baby, will think she's the most beautiful woman in the world. She could have stretch marks everywhere. Have so many stretch marks, weigh 180 pounds, 200 pounds, whatever. She will think she's amazing. He will. Right on. If he truly loves her. If he doesn't love her and he's all like, oh, she needs to lose weight, she's so fat, she should stab him with a kitchen knife. Don't really do that.
Right on. That's all right, Ricky Lake. That's all right. So you are going on tangents. Yeah, you're going on these tangents. Okay. But I did feel during this talk that all three of them got some hard truths that they needed to hear. I think that's always good. And then they yell at Ned while he's on the trampoline. I'm like, just let him enjoy the trampoline. Yeah. Okay.
Love a trampoline.
Yeah.
I still think I'm an amazing person who can do like 5 back flips and look super gymnastic, like Olympic-esque on a trampoline.
Right on. So then he has what?
Trampolines are awesome.
They are very awesome. Okay, so then he goes and has another meeting with Omar, his parole officer, and he admits that he smoked weed with the neighbor kid, and that's bad. That's bad.
Can we just go to that? Omar never ixnayed from the first, like in the first meeting, he says that Omar's like his therapist, and he's all like, "Thank you, New York."
Yeah.
I blame Omar for this second meeting because he didn't say, I'm not your therapist. I'm your parole officer. What you say can be used and will be used against you.
Right on. So he ends up going back to his mom's house. And
because Omar is going to turn him in for smoking pot with the
yes,
neighbor kid.
yes. And so they're playing charades, right? And the sisters aren't really playing charades. They're just inserting, name calling, but using movie names as it, like they call him the jerk or whatever.
Jackass.
And the one
Jerk.
sister's like, you ruined my marriage or some crap like that. And it's
That's
like, no,
not
your
a
husband
movie.
ruined your marriage. So then um he like freaks out and he's like, you guys are selfish, yeah, it was good because it was like
It's the
not
first real human being you see that's like angry out of Ned.
yeah. So then Omar shows up and hauls him off to jail. And so while he's in jail, his family, they post bail, but he decides he doesn't want to go with them. He's like, screw you guys, I don't want
Did
to.
you
I don't
know
want to.
that was a thing?
That you can say no, that you want to stay in jail.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know you could deny bail.
yeah.
Is that real? Like, if so they come to you and say,
I think so. And then so
why would you do that?
they're like, we need to get him out of jail. So they go to get the dog from
Janet.
Janet, yes. And she's still all like, I'm not giving you this dog. This is my dog and everything.
She
And I'm
is
all like,
dying on that hill.
yes. But TJ Miller, he gives him the dog. Like he hands it over and everything. And I'm all like, oh, he is not getting laid tonight.
No.
Yeah. So then that gets him to, leave jail or whatnot. So then we fast forward to a little bit later, and he's got his own like business of candle making
with Billy.
Yeah, with Billy. Yeah, with the TJ Miller.
Him and Billy have moved to some weird, obscure town and have a candle making store called Dips.
Yes.
Dips.
And then the sister, so the one sister that's preggers, the married sister is helping her out. I think it's the married sister.
They kind of make it sound like they're all living together.
Oh, right on. I didn't get that, but they could have been.
Oh, you didn't get that when they were at the breakfast with Ned and he was all like, I'm going to move away. And they were like, oh, we're going to miss you. You helped so much.
I mean, no, I didn't get that, but it could have been. Oh. It could have been. It doesn't even matter.
No, I'm sure I'm in the wrong. I've had drinks.
Elizabeth Banks is and her and Jeremy are together now. Yeah, I can't think of anything else with the sisters, but so he has his own little candle shop, and then Willie Nelson runs away, and he goes to get him. And when he does that, Willie Nelson runs into another dog named Dolly Parton, which I loved.
It's gonna be Ned's cute.
Yes, and then he meets the owner. I don't remember her name.
I didn't write it down.
Yeah, and then they're just like, hey, and everything. And then that's the end of the movie.
I hated the ending.
I didn't care for it either. I was just like, I was just like,
I think I would have liked a more of an ending of where she came into the store with her dog and they had like a conversation rather than him chasing Willie Nelson, because he found Willie Nelson just randomly after running through the town. Like, not just a little bit. He ran through the town for way more than I was willing to admit I watched.
Right on. So, and that's the end of the movie.
End.
Yeah, that's the end. So, do you like to think that maybe they ended up together and happily ever after? Or
I totally got she was just as dumb as Ned.
Gotcha.
Do you think they should? Everybody's good at heart. Yay,
right on.
People.
Do you think they should do a follow-up sequel to this movie? No, right on. So, all right, Vetta, do you have anything else you want to say about this movie?
No.
Yeah, me neither. All right. Would you suggest watching this movie?
I actually would. It had some funny parts in it. I think it's one of those that if you were looking for a movie one night, and I am one of those people that looks for movies off the beaten path.
Right
This is
on.
definitely a movie that if you were like on Netflix or Hulu or Prime or whatever streaming service, it may not be one of those we recommend for you, but it's definitely off the beaten path. And if you're like me and you like those movies that aren't mainstream, this is a movie for you. And I'm all about that.
Right on. I agree. I liked this movie. It was good.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to the other section of the program, which are our questions. What was your question for tonight?
So my question for you is, what is your least favorite Paul Rudd movie?
Okay, I need to. Oh my God, Vetta. All right, Vetta, what is your question for tonight?
So my question is, what is your least favorite Paul Rudd movie? Because there's a lot. He's
There
in a
is, and it was
ton
hard to
of shit.
pick. Yeah, it was hard for me to pick because if he was in a movie, I either liked it or I didn't see it. So I was like, oh, I can't pick one. But one that he did do that I didn't like, it's called This Is 40. And I just didn't like that movie. I mean, like, I can relate to some of the stuff going on in it, but I was just like, this is not my jam. I just didn't like it.
So that movie lost me as a fan the minute they showed the bathroom scene. I do
Oh
not like.
yeah,
Oh,
with the wife and the
yeah.
husband, and she's all like,
She's
he's all
taking
like,
a poo and he's looking in. Yeah, no.
and he like doesn't want to
I'm
have sex after that. He's like,
Yeah, I'm done.
yeah,
I'm with him on this. I don't want to know. You can have poo before we have sex. I just don't need to know about it.
yeah. I don't want to talk
Go
about
to
this
the
anymore.
basement.
I don't like, I like talking about feet about duty. It's gross.
Right. I don't want to know what you did before we're going to have sex. If you pooed, go to the basement bathroom. It's private. I don't need to know about it. No, I refuse.
Right on. What
I'm
was
with
your
her
movie?
on that
Oh,
one.
sorry.
But
What was your movie?
mine was Moon Boy. It's
Moon Boy? I've never seen it.
Moon. It's just a stupid movie from like, I just don't like it. It's like a small town Irish family, like circa 1990. I don't know if anyone actually saw this movie, but again, I watch a lot of B films or not mainstream films, and this came up, and it's from like 2015 or 16, I think. It's just not good. It's not.
Right
Don't
on.
watch it.
Well, I can't say anything about it because I have not seen the movie, so I wouldn't know.
That's 2 hours of your life you get to keep.
Right on.
Don't.
Yay for me.
All right.
All
What was
right.
your question?
My question is who is your favorite Paul Rudd character from any movie? Any movie.
Okay. So my favorite Paul Rudd character is Ben Benjamin from the Fundamentally Caring, I think is what it's called.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
I love it, where he's the caregiver of the
Yeah.
paraplegic kid and he takes him to all of the wonders of the US he wants to see. It has Selena Gomez in it as like a weird hitchhiker teenager. I love that movie because they take him to like the world's biggest bovine and they are not handicap accessible. So he all, ADA them like, oh, well, how would the ADA feel about you not being handicap accessible? So they carry him up the flight of stairs to see the world's largest bovine, and he sits there for like 30 seconds and is like, I'm good. And they have to carry him back down.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I love that. Or the part where he's making the breakfast and he's like, did you purposely make my pancakes and sausage look like a penis and balls? And he's like, yes, I did. And he's like,
I think my favorite part is when he comes in, he's all like and dinging the bell, and he's all like, I'm wearing cologne today. And he's like, I love how he thought that I would have a fit over cologne. I was like, that's good. I like that. I like this
that
kid.
movie has so much like dry sarcasm that I'm like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
This is my life.
Yeah, it's also sad.
It's
A little
super
bit.
sad.
Yeah. No, that's a good movie. That's a good movie. Mine is Andy from Wet Hot American Summer.
Mm.
I just love how I love how he talks. Like he's all like, I can remember the character's name, the female characters, but he's like hunkered down for some boinkage, and I'm all like, that's good. And he's like, oh, her name is Katie, because he's like, Katie, are you gonna be around later? And she's like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, so am I. And she's like, well, that was weird. And he's like, huh, huh. And then I just love how when he like has a little freak out and she's like, can you clean, Andy, can you clean? And he like throws the plate on the floor and she's like, can you clean that up? And he's like, yeah, I will later. And she's like, do it now and then get to the meeting. And he's like, I just really liked his character in that movie. Super fun.
He plays really good characters
Yeah,
overall. It's very rarely that I can say I hate a Paul Rudd character. Like, even in the movie that's not a great movie, I Love You Man, I love his character in that movie,
yeah,
who
he's
like
great.
fakes going to fantasy football leagues just to get away from his wife and kids. I'm like, I get that. I can see that. I'm
Right
not
on.
offended. I get it.
Right on. Yeah, no, I do like him. All right. Do you have anything else you want to say about this movie?
I go with, hey, watch it. It's fun for laughs and it's a good time.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. All right, you guys, we are going to wrap this sucker up. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at BS Drunk Pod to stay updated. Now, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcast or Spotify or anywhere where you get your podcast needs, please leave us a 5-star review, you guys. We would really appreciate it, and it helps us out so much. You have no idea. We will also be posting the video version of this to our YouTube channel. So please make sure to check that out, and make sure to subscribe. And that is at BS Drunk Movie Reviews. Also, we have started a Patreon with plenty of different levels to suit any of you that is interested. And the link for that will be in the description down below. And please don't forget to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, you guys.